Awesome. So like Maria said, my name's Megan. I'm the Assistant Director of Orientation and Family Programs here at Eastern. I've been here for almost 2 years. I'm originally from Michigan. That's probably all you care to know about me. So, like she mentioned, our feedback that we received last year, students really liked our programming, but they wanted just to hear more from current students. And so that's why we have these amazing, beautiful humans up here. Current students of Eastern, just to give you a great perspective of what you're getting into, and we really tried to get students from all areas of campus, which is really fun. So with that being said, panelists, if we want to start off, first, can you just tell us your name, your hometown, where you're from, what you're studying, and any extracurriculars that you might be involved in here at Eastern. If you have like too many to choose from, pick like your favorite 2. Do you want to start down here? Over there? Braden, go for it.
Okay, I'll start. My name is Braden. I am studying to get a Bachelor's of Health and Science. I was born in New York, but I've lived in Wenatchee for as long as I could live. I'm currently not in any extracurriculars right now.
Perfect.
That's about it.
And just a note, if you want to pull up the microphones a little bit closer to your mouth, yeah, it'll just be able to pick up your voices better. Okay, go for it as well.
Hello. Okay, I'll make sure you can hear me. Nice. My name is Isabel. I am originally from Connell, Washington. For those of you that don't know, it's over by like the Tri-Cities area. I'm a double major in secondary math education and math. I'm also a double minor in Spanish and communication, so I like never sleep. And some extracurriculars I'm part of is I'm a sister of Kappa Delta Chi. It's a diverse Greek sorority here at Eastern, so if you have any questions about that, I can probably answer it. And I am a member of Eagle Ambassadors.
My turn? Okay. Hi, I'm Faith. I'm double majoring in theater and English. I really grew up in Idaho, but I'm from Spokane because that's where I live currently. And I'm a part of the tennis club here, you know, whenever I'm not at rehearsals, which is very rare. So I'm a part of it, but I don't go that often. So yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, my name is Christabel, and I'm from Ghana. I am a graduate student reading urban planning. Extracurricular, I'm supposed to be part of the Black Student Union, but I am unable to go for meetings, so. And yeah, I'm part of the Association of Planning Students as well, so.
My name's Sylvia. I am currently a biochem major, and I'm with McNair. I'm also part of the Biological Student Organization and WISE, which is Women in Science.
Sylvia, can you explain what McNair is?
Yes, so McNair is a program, it's called the McNair Scholar Program, and it's to help students who are interested in going into a graduate school program to pursue a PhD in their field. So currently I'm looking at cellular biology.
It's a big deal.
Yeah, it's pretty
Very cool.
Hello. My name is Jonathan. I am gonna be a senior next year. I'm studying music, more specifically music technology, so like audio engineering. I'm also double majoring in Spanish. I originally was just gonna go for the minor because it's one class, but then I just decided I really like the classes, so I am going to double major in Spanish now. Here at Eastern, I'm a part of a few things. I work at the visitor center, so I give tours, so maybe perhaps I give some of you guys a tour when you guys came to visit the school. And I also work at the front desk over there, as well as I'm a part of the mariachi group on campus, so you guys might have heard me sing earlier, just down there. It's pretty cool. I get a scholarship. When I first came here, they gave me like a $500 scholarship, but now the scholarship, because I've been with the group for a while, has gone to the point where they pay for my school, so it's pretty fun. And I recommend that you guys find something that you guys like doing, and potentially you can get a scholarship for it, because I didn't know you could get a scholarship. When I was in high school, I didn't know you can get a scholarship for playing music that I've played my whole life, so. Yeah.
That's a pro tip right there. Write that down.
I'm also an Eagle Ambassador too, so I do this kind of stuff all the time, answering questions about the school. So.
Awesome. And it's also worth mentioning the four at the far end are going to be orientation leaders this upcoming Welcome Week. So get to know their faces because you'll see them around a lot during Welcome Week in September. Awesome. Okay, thank you all so much for sharing. So the first question, how prepared academically, socially, financially, etc. Did you feel coming into Eastern? And then what resources helped you feel more comfortable on campus once you were here? And we don't have to go in order. Not everyone has to talk, but if someone feels led to speak, go for it.
Okay, so for me, when I was coming from Ghana, I did my undergraduate in the same program that I'm doing my graduate program in, so I was feeling pretty confident when I came here. And then we had our first essay work, and then I did it. I was so confident. And then I submitted it in my lecture. My professor was like, your answer is all over the place. I'm like, what do you mean my answer is all over the place? So some of the resources that helped me a lot was the Writers Center. They review your work, they look at what you've done, and then they go through, give you the areas that you can correct. So the Writers Center was a resource that I made use of a lot in my first quarter, and it really helped me.
Okay, I'll go next. When I started, I was not financially prepared at all, especially for how much I have to pay. So the people that helped me the most were the financial aid office. I was there almost every day for a whole 5 weeks, and they were so patient, and they helped me write everything I needed to write, and honestly, they were just the best.
So when I started here at Eastern, it was fall of 2020, so right at the peak of the pandemic. I was not mentally prepared for everything to be shut down. When I came here, I knew absolutely nobody, so I was a loner pretty much. The next year, going to NeighborFest and looking at all of the clubs, the Greek life, like everything that I could do here, I felt like I could grow my own community. And now that I've been here, I honestly created my own second family away from home, so.
Okay, this is a little niche, but I'm a non-traditional student that was returning after a 10-year break from college. So I had a little bit of an idea, like academically what to prepare for, but my math skills were super rusty. So one of the things I did, in addition to the Writing Center, was our math lab, which is free to students. If you're in a math class, go there every single day. They will walk you through it. They dragged me across that line through Calculus 3, and I got through it. So don't be afraid if you guys are a little rusty with those skills, maybe you didn't do so great before. There are resources here to help you with it, with whatever area you might need.
Awesome. Anyone else? If not, no biggie.
I guess the academic, what is it, counseling, or the people that help you with signing up for classes. I tend to think that I could do multiple minors, or I try and experiment when it comes to taking classes, potentially thinking I could do a minor in something, and they're really helpful. I mean, I wanted to do communications as a minor, which is still something I could do, but I'm not that good at public speaking. Or at least the class was really difficult for me. I'm a very improvising kind of say whatever comes to my mind, and it was really hard for me to structure exactly what I was going to say. So I guess the academic counseling advisors were really helpful when it came to signing up for classes, making sure that my double major would actually work so I could graduate next year instead of having, because I guess for some reason, none of the music classes and the Spanish classes, none of the credits match, so I definitely have to sometimes go to complete different buildings throughout the day just to take my classes, but they're really good at scheduling for my academic plan, so.
Nice. You don't like public speaking, and yet you're a tour guide, and you're on this panel?
Yeah, no, trust me, I'm telling you, I'm a music student. Improvising is something that happens a lot, and so I very much just go off what I say off the dome, and when it comes to structuring things, it was just really difficult for me to write down exactly what I was thinking of saying, but it was really helpful when it came to structuring exactly what I was going to say. Not exactly what I was going to say, but just the points and ideas that I was going to write, if that
Fair
makes
enough.
sense. So, yeah.
Awesome. Okay, unless anyone else has something to add? Okay. Next question. How did you make friends your first quarter or year here at Eastern?
Okay, I'll go first. I came from Idaho, like that's where I grew up, so I was like really nervous to make friends because I'm like, I'm not gonna know anyone. No one from my high school is going to Eastern, so I'm just gonna be alone. But I like pushed myself out of my comfort zone because I'm an introvert, so I really like being alone, but I'm like, I need to make friends. So I just really pushed myself to go to events and stuff during Welcome Week, especially because that's when a lot of events happen, and that's where you will meet, people, and you will find someone that you'll become friends with.
Okay, so for me, I think the pub is another great place that you could make friends because it's a place where you can meet a lot of people who are not even in your classes. If you're going to buy groceries, if you're going for one of the club's meetings in any of the buildings, it's another place that I was able to make friends. And then also through clubs, even though I'm not able to go for the Black Students Union meetings because of classes, I was able to make some friends through my first meetings that I was able to go. So clubs and then the pub is another great way that I was able to make friends.
Awesome. Anyone else?
I would say show up to as many events as you can. Like a funny story that I like to tell people is I came last year as a sophomore, so that was my first year here, and I was really nervous because I was like, oh, I'm a sophomore coming in. People are already going to have their friends and everything like that. But I actually met my roommate, who's my roommate now still, at Passing Through the Pillars, so the freshmen and transfer students. He was a transfer student, so that's why we clicked, because we were a little bit older than everybody else. We're both from the Lower Valley, so I guess just show up to as many events as you can. You could potentially meet your next roommate. So
That's a really cute story. Adorable.
As dorky as it sounds, having the same classmates for multiple classes, especially forming study groups. I will say, if it wasn't for some of my classmates, I would not have passed some of my classes. So form those study groups too.
Awesome. Did anyone meet any friends while living on campus?
Yes, I did.
Great.
So I lived in Pierce. It's one of the round buildings. We often call it trash cans, but I met a lot of people from my floor that I was friends with for the entire year. I'm still friends with them. So yeah, you'll likely meet people if you're living on campus, which you probably will. But yeah, living in a dorm, it's super easy to make friends because your neighbors are right next to you, so you will probably make some friends in your dorm building.
And if not friends, at least familiar faces, right? Which is
Yeah,
really
yes.
nice to have. Awesome. Great. Okay, so do any of you have a job on campus? And if so, how did you learn about it, and how has it benefited you as a student?
Okay, so I am a research assistant for one of my faculty members. So we do research on homelessness and housing. So I heard about it through the university website. So I went to my program and then I searched for some of the jobs that I could do, the scholarships, and then I found that I could be a research assistant. So I applied to the program, and then they considered my academic status, my experience, and I was given the position as a research assistant. And I think it has been able to help me a lot be focused and be able to plan, because the research assistantship covered 20 hours every week, and then I also had a lot of academic stuff that I had to do. So it helped me be able to put things in perspective and then be able to plan so that I do not do well in another and then fail in another, so that I'll be able to put all of them on a balance. So I think that's what the job helped me to do.
I'm an office assistant at the theater. I learned about it through work study because it's a work study job. So I was kind of just looking through positions on Handshake, and I did theater in high school. So I'm like, I'll apply for the theater job because theater's pretty cool. So yeah, I work in the office, and then I also run the box office. So if you ever come see shows, which you should, I'm not biased or anything, but if you come see any of the shows we put on, you'll probably see my face in the lobby running the box office. And it really helped me because, it kind of helped me to decide to major in theater. So it kind of helped me in that way because it helped me decide another major.
So, like Jonathan, I am also a tour guide. I probably gave some of you a tour earlier this morning. And I am also training to be the front desk. The way I learned about my position is actually being an Eagle Ambassador. And it's really helped me because now I know things about Eastern that I never knew before, and I can answer almost anything about Eastern as well.
Isabel and Jonathan, just because you both mentioned it, can you talk about what being an Eagle Ambassador means? What is that?
So we're essentially like student brand ambassadors for the school. We kind of represent the school, I guess, at a high level in terms of like all the groups that come visit, like high schools, elementaries, middle schools, a lot of the admission events. So perhaps you guys came to like student admitted day and what's the fall preview day. And we kind of help out with that. We do student panels. And we also do, I guess, learning about just how to be better student panels and how to be better students in general to like learn things that could help us out with potential employers. So we do a lot of trainings and workshops, and that's essentially what we do. And we get prior to registration if we meet a certain amount of volunteering hours. So for those of you that are going into like the nursing program, that could potentially be a really good opportunity, prior to registration. So. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I know what it is, but I feel like sometimes other people don't. So thanks for the explanation. This one I didn't prep you with, but I just thought of, and I thought it's fun. What are some like Eastern isms that you're like, that's so weird that we do here at Eastern? Like, I'm thinking of the squirrels, right? Like, and maybe someone can talk about that. Like, things you might not know that you don't learn about from an admissions pamphlet, you don't learn about from, these like formal events, but when you come here, you're like, yes, that's funny to me. Any thoughts?
Probably be the bed races at homecoming week. If you don't know, you probably don't know, but during homecoming week, we have teams where one person will hop on a bed. A group of people will then push them towards like a finishing line.
The bed is on wheels. I feel like that's important to say.
Yeah. That person on the bed then gets off, gets into pajamas while others turn the bed around, and then they have to race back. It's just a really cool, fun tradition that we have after the bonfire, and I don't think many schools do it.
I don't think so either. It is really fun. My first year working here, my lovely boss convinced me to be the person in the bed, and I was like, okay. And it was wild, and I thought I was going to lose my life at one point because the bed goes so fast on wheels. But yeah, that's a really fun homecoming tradition. I love that. What else?
Well, for me, something that I didn't know when I came here, Snapchat has its own graduation group for your class year. This was one of way that I was able to meet a ton of my fellow people who were graduating at my year, and I could hear about events that were happening. It honestly made it easier to find some people that could be friends.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
For me, I don't know if it's related to like housing, but one thing I did not know was that every bus had a number, and every number shows where the bus was going. I came from Ghana. I did not have a SIM card, anything, so I just got to the station, and then any bus that comes, I just jump into it. And then one day I was in the bus, so it was going, and I knew I was lost, but I felt like it would be weird telling someone that, please, where am I going to? So I just sat in the bus till it got to the last end, and I got off, and I did this. And then I jumped into another one. I realized it was going to go on for the whole day. So luckily, I met somebody, and I had saved one of my mate's number on the phone. So I asked him, can I use your phone? He said, okay. So I took and I called my mate. He said, where are you? I'm like, there's a bus here.
That's a very good point. And, I mean, look at you now. You're on this panel, so you survived. It's okay if we make mistakes, right? Awesome. Anyone else? Any thoughts?
I'm colorblind, so I didn't know that the turf was red at the football field. So when I looked at the field, it just looked really dark, and I was wondering what happened to the grass or whatever. And I guess I didn't know that the football games got really, really popular, even aside from homecoming week. And then I went one time, I think it was during homecoming week, and I completely forgot that my cousin goes here, and he was a cheerleader, and he was straight up just throwing the cheerleaders in the air and catching them, and I'm like, whoa. And I just thought the games were really, essentially I didn't really like football, but the games here are pretty fun, and I can only assume it's because of the alumni that used to play here, like Cooper Cup. Also, fun fact, my roommate, he went to Davis High School, which is the same high school that Cooper Cup went to, and he's 26 now. So if you do the math, he was a freshman when Cooper Cup was a senior in high school. So,
Wow.
and it's also just nice to see the videos that they have about him because he came from the Lower Valley, which is where I'm from, and so it's just cool to think that potentially you could become something as big as him later in the future. So.
Totally. Wow, that's exciting. I love it. Thank you. Kind of going off of that, and Isabel touched on this a little bit, does anyone have any favorite campus traditions that take place throughout the year or just super fun events that you look forward to?
So every year there's a student symposium for all of my STEM people where we can present our research that we've been doing throughout the year. So if you're interested in doing that, it's a really low-stress environment that you can get some experience with, basically showing off what you're proud of. There's a wide range of students that present at those, so it's a really cool experience you guys should look at in the future if you get into research.
Also, during finals week, there is always some type of event that is super relaxing, super fun. The last one that I went to was the Blitz, inflatable obstacle courses, and I dragged my boyfriend to it, and I beat him in every single one.
Yeah, I think with what he said, usually I was wondering why there are like a lot of events during finals when I'm like, well, maybe they don't want us to lose our minds from exams. So yeah, there are lots of events during finals week, and especially there are lots of food to try,
Yep.
and I always look forward to that. Yeah.
Yep, I love it.
I really like the Moonlight Breakfast. There's one like every quarter, and it usually takes place in the pub in that big room on the first floor. And you eat breakfast for dinner. You play bingo and you can win some prizes. And then there's karaoke too, and it's just really fun to I like having breakfast for dinner sometimes, so I really enjoy that.
I love it.
Honestly, for me, I think it'd be both student and midday and fall preview day because I just love seeing the faces of new students and the free food. You can never go wrong with free food, in all honesty.
True. Love it. One of mine, selfishly, during Welcome Week, we have an event called Club Vegas, which we bring in this outside company, and they bring all of these like casino-type tables and games, and we deck out the NCR, the room there that the resource fair was in today, and it's like Vegas themed, and students can play games, and we have thousands of dollars worth of prizes, and last year we had like 650 people come in at one time, and it was insane, but it's so fun, and it's just a really fun way to kick off Welcome Week, so that's one of my favorites. Awesome. Okay, probably last question, and then we can start moving into FAQ from any students or families who have questions. So get the questions ready in your head. What advice would you give to incoming Eagles?
Okay, I'll start. My biggest advice would be, you are making a big step. It's gonna be anxious, you might be scared, but do fun things, go to the events. For a lot of people, this is gonna be the first time they are living without their parents, and it's gonna be stressful. Go have fun.
Mine would be create healthy study habits now because you will not have your parents constantly being, do your homework, do your homework, do your homework. Trust me, you will thank your parents when you come to college and you're like, oh wait, I have like 10 overdue assignments because I just didn't do them. Definitely create those healthy study habits so that you have a successful first year of college.
Going off of that, don't study in your room because you'll get distracted. I know from experience. So if you need to study for anything, it's like the pub is a good space. There's a lot of good spaces to study on campus, but don't study in your room because you'll get distracted. So if you study somewhere else, you'll be able to be more focused. So yeah.
Just a quick note to add to that. Also, if you study at the library, they have Thomas Hammer's coffee there, and it is amazing.
True.
Okay, so I know parents will want me to say that study, go to class, and all that. But okay, so I'll just say that be yourself. And most of the time, students go haywire. They make mistakes when they try to not be themselves. No matter who you are, the school is great for embracing diversity and equity. They do very well. No matter who you are, your background, the school does really well to embrace you and make you feel welcome. So just be yourself and you'll be fine.
It's okay if you don't know what you want to do when you come here. There are a lot of classes. Take the fun classes that you may be interested in, you may not. It gives you good experience and kind of helps you narrow down until you can decide what you actually want to pursue for the rest of your degree.
Apply for scholarships. There's money that's gonna be handed to somebody, so may as well let it be you. Apply for as many there's scholarships for literally anything. I mean, is anybody left-handed? And I can tell by whoever's holding their left hand up. But I saw some right-handed people raise their hand with their right hand. But there's literally a scholarship for people who are left-handed. And I always tell that to people just to give an example that there's literally a scholarship for anything. I mean, I'm telling you, when I was a kid, I didn't think that playing mariachi music since I was little, when my parents kind of forced me to play it, could essentially pay for my school. So I'm telling you, just apply for as many scholarships, learn about as many as you can. And then that's money that you don't have to pay back. So, yeah.
And even if it's just a few $100s, right, and a one-time thing, it adds up.
Yeah, it does. And I'm telling you, when I came here, it started as just 500, and then it grew to about like 3,000 per quarter. So it really helped me. And I'm talking 500 for the year that first time, and it grew to like 3,000 if I just
Awesome.
kept with it. So.
Following up on that, who here wants to teach any STEM-related careers?
Ooh.
Nobody wants to teach STEM?
Oh, there, I see one
Okay.
hand.
Well, we do have a really amazing scholarship here called the Robert Noyce Scholarship. It pays for you to get your bachelor's degree. So for those of you that want to go in the STEM field and want to teach, I had it, and basically I got my whole financial aid package because of that scholarship. Highly recommend talking to your advisors about any department scholarships that you can get.
That's great advice. That's really good advice. No one asked me, but I'm going to tell you my advice to you all. I would say, and this is hard for parents to hear sometimes, but students stay on campus for the first month or first 6 weeks of school, because if you get used to going home on the weekends, then that's just going to become a regular occurrence. And truly the weekends is when you have your free time and when you're hanging out with people in your residence halls and connecting with clubs and all of that. And so if you're going home super often, you're missing those opportunities and you're not feeling as connected on campus. So at least like the first month, first 6 weeks, stay here and enjoy what we have to offer. The first 6 weeks go by so fast because we have a lot of stuff going on all the time. So
I will say, if you don't go home as often, you will get special treatment from your family. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind.
pro tip. That's funny. Awesome. How did we do Q&A before? Was there a floating mic? Does anyone know? Or was it just this one? Okay. If anyone has any questions, I'd love to hear them. If you feel comfortable raising your hand, if not, I can pull this out and bring the microphone to you. But does anyone? Yeah. Oh, she's asking about the squirrels. Thank you for bringing this up again. This is important. Does anyone want to expand on what I mean by the squirrels on campus? Oh, everyone's really excited to talk about this.
I mean,
Go ahead.
we have a lot of squirrels on this campus, like so many. You will literally see so many everywhere, and they'll walk like 2 feet in front of you. But yeah, there's a lot of squirrels on this campus, so just be prepared to, see
It is
squirrels
our-
everywhere.
It is our second unofficial mascot of Eastern.
It's true.
And they're really friendly, so they'll be out and about near you. So
And I feel like they have specific personalities too. It's not just like there's a lot of them. Like they're kind of like they're excited to be near a human. Like sometimes I'm like, are you gonna touch me? Like go away, squirrel. So that's just my experience. Yeah, they're funny. Any other questions? Anyone?
Don't be shy.
Oh, is there one back there? Oh, sure. Do you feel comfortable yelling? I can bring the microphone as well. You got it. Did you all hear that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it difficult double majoring?
I think it depends on the subject. As a math major, I will say it is difficult because some of the classes I have taken are just on another level, and it gets me upset because I'm not even going to teach the subjects. But yeah, just depending on the subjects. What about you?
For me, it's kind of easy to double major because English and theater, they kind of go hand in hand on occasion. There's a lot of Shakespeare. But yeah, it really just depends on the combination of majors you have because, some majors require less credits than others, so that means you have to take less classes for them. So it just really depends on what your combination is.
I guess for me, it was a little bit difficult just because, there a lot of the Spanish classes and music classes, the credits just don't at all. Like they literally have to go from one building to the other. And it was also really difficult to have classes in English and then have a class in Spanish at the same day. I'd have to switch my brain like that. But I would say that, if there's specific double majors that could work, like if I did Spanish and then like Spanish education, those would probably, it'd be really easy to get a double major in that because most of the classes would probably connect so perfectly, and also like the credits would probably overlap. Is that what the word is? Like when credits kind of
Yeah, cross something.
cross-contaminate? I don't know. Double dip? Double dip.
You know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so for me, that was the hardest part, but I guess I was okay with taking multiple Spanish classes a day or a quarter rather than just taking like one to fulfill a double major in Spanish because that would have meant that I would graduate like next year, or not next year, but the year after that, 2025. So I guess it just really depends on your schedule. That's really what it depends on, I'd say.
Something to add is, depending on what you're interested in double majoring in, you may find that there's a degree that you don't need to double major. I am biochemistry. I was interested in biology and chemistry. It's the perfect major. It fits both those in, and it applies to what I need in the future, which is another thing to consider is why do you want to double major? What does it apply towards? And then you could potentially save yourself a little bit of work if it's not necessary.
Nice. Sylvia said biochem is the perfect major, and that gives me such anxiety even thinking about that, but that's why you're important. We need people like you. That's awesome. Other questions? Yeah. Any laptop recommendations?
Do you like tablets and laptops in one? Yeah, then don't get a MacBook.
Get a relatively small laptop. I personally have a really big laptop and I really hate carrying it around. So try and get a smaller laptop because it'll just be easier to carry around all day.
For me, I cannot talk much about the laptop because I usually borrow that from the library. They can borrow you laptops all the time. But one thing I'll say is that save everything to your OneDrive. I cannot overemphasize this. I had my finals work that was about almost a 30-page Word document. And by then, I wasn't saving. So I usually finish the work and send it to my email, and then I forgot I had to send the laptop. So I rushed, and then I sent it there, and then 10 minutes later, I was like, oh my God, I did not send my work. And then I went back, and they had cleared everything. I had to start my finals work again. I cried, slept, ate ice cream, and then I started again. So make sure you save your work to your OneDrive. No matter the laptop you have, save it there.
To add to that, Microsoft Word does have an autosave feature. Turn that on. It saved me more times than I can say.
Hint, hint. With your student email, you get all the Microsoft things for free. So take advantage of that.
Just get a MacBook. If you have like an iPhone and an Apple Watch and an iPad, get a MacBook because I got roped into it, if that makes sense. So I have a MacBook for that reason, but if you have like an Android or you don't have a bunch of Apple products, you don't need a MacBook. But
I will
I'm
say-
I'm Apple biased, I guess, so.
If you get a MacBook, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars because I got tied into that too. I wanted a 2-in-1, and then the sales representative at Best Buy was like, just get a MacBook. I'm like, okay. Don't do that.
Which is not a 2-in-1.
Yeah, like, do your research.
Fair enough. But would you say, so it sounds like we have a mix of laptops, like it's compatible with your major, and it's not like you bought a laptop and it doesn't work on this campus, right? From what it sounds like, everyone? True, yes. Mac, you have to pay for a lot of things. Yes. Something to note as well, Eastern, when you have your ID, which we should talk about IDs, I'm putting a pin in that.
Yes.
With your ID, you can actually rent a laptop in the pub, in the library. It's free for students. There's like a little kiosk, and you can check them out. So even if you like rent a library, but you forgot your laptop, if all of your stuff is on, your OneDrive, then you could access it like that too, which is really nice. So, how important is it to have your ID on you, and what kind of things does your ID do for you?
It's literally so important. Like, you use it to get into your dorm building. You use it, it's what has your meal plans. So you take that to like any of the dining services here, and you just use your student ID to do your meal plan. You can ride the buses for free, which if y'all plan on riding the bus, there's this great app called Transit. It's like a green app with this like white squiggle, but if you plan on taking the bus at all, that's a great app to download. But you can ride the bus for free when you're enrolled in EWU, so.
You also need it for the math lab. So if you're going to do any tutoring services, you have to scan in for that. These are free, but it is something they do track, so they can make sure they're provided for us. So just make sure you guys always have that.
Yeah, super important. Oh, go ahead.
Don't lose your card. Make sure you get something for it, because I lost mine twice. I found it the first time. Second time, it cost me to get another one.
True. Keep
We
it
do
somewhere
get $9 a quarter for printing, and we use our Eagle card for that too. So if you don't want to spend money on buying a printer, ink, and paper, use your Eagle card to print off stuff at school.
Yeah. And $9 lasts a long time, I feel like.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It lasts you a while.
Yeah, it does. Cool. Other questions? We probably have time for maybe like 2 more. Does anyone have any questions? Oh, I'm so sorry. Go for it. That's a good question. The question is, what is one thing you recommend when you're living on campus in your dorm room that you could bring?
A mattress topper. Like, get a nice mattress topper, because, I mean, like, there's mattresses, but they're not going to be comfortable for you to, like, sleep in full time. So get a mattress topper, because it really helped a lot.
This may seem insignificant, but get a key holder. 'Cause I lost my key. I locked my key inside.
Especially with your history.
A lot of times. So sometimes I go out and I'm just outside. My roommates, usually they lock it when you're outside. So I've been locked outside a lot of times that my resident head, whenever he sees me, he doesn't smile because he knows I'm coming for a key.
So funny.
I've never lived on campus, but get an air fryer. Those things can cook anything. Like,
True.
just do it. You'll save so much time.
Yeah, I don't think you can have an air fryer on campus. But
Well,
one day you should get one.
You're allowed to have a microwave,
This
so
is
get a microwave.
See, I don't know, 'cause I don't live on campus.
Oh, I have another thing.
Yeah.
Get storage, because your dorm room's not going to have enough storage, because, the closets are kind of small. So bring like bins or something that you can store stuff in, because it'll really just, help make your dorm room better, because you won't have enough storage.
Yeah, or like over the door, like shoe thing, like
Yeah.
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it goes a long way.
I've never lived on campus, but I've heard that you guys share bathrooms. So for hygiene's sake, I would say get a pair of sandals, like to take a shower. So you're not stepping on where everyone else is stepping when they're showering and wiping off all the dirt. Also, I guess a recommendation for like your guys' room at home, leave everything there in terms of like all the decoration and everything, so that when you do go home, if you do, it's not really bare looking and you're just sleeping in a room that's very empty. Like, try and make your dorm room and your other room, keep them all decorated, if that makes sense. Don't just move everything from your old room at your house to your dorm room. So that's what I
Unless your
recommend.
parents are planning to turn your room into a gym, then I guess that might
Oh,
be an
that
issue.
never happened to me.
Awesome. Something, this is just so small. I used to work in housing, but sometimes the doors automatically lock, like in the residence halls. And so if you put like a magnet on the inside of the door, it'll just stop it from closing. So like if you are running to the bathroom or like down the hall to a friend's place and you don't actually want to lock your door and just having it, it's shut, but you could push it open so you don't get locked out. Pro tip, in my opinion. Anyway, any more questions? I just thought of one, unless there was someone who had one. No? Great. And then this will probably be the last one. On a random Saturday throughout the quarter, what are you doing during the day? Like, you have the day free. What are you doing on a Saturday? Besides studying, you're not allowed to say studying.
Oh, well, I guess I don't have anything to say then. I'm kidding. I really like especially during the spring quarter, like when it's warmer out. It's really nice. There's a lot of students just like hanging out outside, like in the mall or just anywhere on campus, really, because there's a lot of like really nice spots to just hang out outside. So if you want to hang outside and just be outside for a little bit, that's what I do sometimes.
Nice.
A normal Saturday I'll be doing K-drama.
You'll be doing what?
K-drama.
Okay, yes. Good for you. Self-care, right? Yes. I love that.
I'd probably check for any events. If no events are happening, I'd go to Thomas Hammer and get coffee.
Catch Braden there all the time.
So I'm a musician, so if I'm not performing on the weekends, because I do get asked a lot, and that does suck when I want to go home a certain weekend and then like everybody's getting married and then I have to play at a wedding or something like that. But if I'm not doing something like that, I like collecting vinyl records and then reselling them, because sometimes I will find something I bought very inexpensively, and then I look up online and it's worth a lot of money. Most of the time I'll keep it if I like the album, because I'm not that kind of person that rips off people. But if I don't particularly like the album, then I will definitely upsell it. I'm sorry, that's how business works, but yeah.
A subtle plug. Nice.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Yeah, the problem with being a mathematician is we hardly ever do anything. I guess I just stay home, just chill, watch TV shows or movies. I do try to go out every now and then because, I'm also, I think, a pretty fun person. I don't know. Anyways, I also sometimes have my dog over here, so I'll just chill with her too. Just something chill.
Oh, and another thing, take care of your personal hobbies. You should still do your hobbies even if they're ones that you do alone. And although you might be able to find stuff to do it here, maybe you just like to do it at home. Still do them.
Totally. I know one of my student workers, she loves to thrift, and Spokane has a lot of really good thrift stores too, which is really fun. So she does that often. Awesome. Okay, I think, unless anyone has one last question. Oh, yes, go for it.
Go
What
to Rate My
class?
Professor.
Professor recommendations.
Go to Rate My Professor and look there, because there's a lot of ratings on Rate My Professor, and you'll see the ratings. You'll be like, maybe I'll try another professor. So that's my suggestion.
Do you know which career or department you want to go into? A lot. Well, I can only speak about math, but some math professors that are really good are Dr. Lynch. That's pretty
Nievergelt?
yeah, Dr. Nievergel is also a really good one too. And Dr. Garraway. Dr. Garraway really helps you a lot.
I have two. For anthropology, go to Julia Smith. She's great. She's amazing. And for sociology, I would say Todd. I think his last name's Hedgeman. He is hilarious.
I'd say any professor, just if you're looking at Rate My Professor, just take it with a grain of salt. Their teaching styles are very different. I would look at that more than anything else for reviews on that, and ask other students, especially as you start getting into your field and you kind of have an idea of what degree you want to. start asking other students who they've taken and what their thoughts were on it, and that can help prepare you because there are some classes that are pretty niche and there's only one professor who can teach it. Preparing yourself for their style and getting good study habits beforehand will help you a lot further when you don't have a lot of options and what you can take.
If any of you are heritage speakers of Spanish, I recommend going for the minor. It's one class, and you get 20 credits for it, so you literally take one class and you get a minor in Spanish. But there is 2 professors. Dr. Novea, I'll start with Jose Garcia Sanchez. Dr. Jose Garcia Sanchez, he's way more strict when it comes to not really caring about opinions and stuff like that, but he's very good at teaching you Spanish. Dr. Novea, he's from Mexico. Dr. Jose is from Spain. Dr. Novea is from Mexico. He's way more opinionated based. He's a lot more chill. I would say that I had to take both classes for my major, but it really depends on. I mean, my parents were very strict, so it was very easy to take Garcia Sanchez's class, but it really just depends. So, and again, I recommend if you speak Spanish or a heritage speaker like your parents speak Spanish, I recommend getting the minor or any language. If you're a heritage speaker in that language. Potentially in the modern language classes, I believe there's like Spanish, German, Japanese, ALS, and French. So ALS is American Sign Language. So, yeah.
Awesome. I love how your question was, do you have any professor recommendations? And 2 of you immediately said, go to class. That was funny to me. Sorry, Crispell, I didn't mean to cut you off.
So if anyone is looking at urban and regional planning, so before that, after you do your bachelor's, you get to do your master's in just 1 year. So that's something the Urban and Regional Planning Program, and I recommend Dr. Hill, Dr. Anderson, and Dr. Scully. They are great professors. So.
Awesome. All right. Can we please thank our panelists for coming up? Amazing. You guys are good to go. All
Before
right.
I leave, I'm going to do one parting advice. Actually read your syllabus. When I was in high school, I just threw my syllabus away. You will actually have to read it here.
Do you want to come get the prizes and put them out, and then we'll do that? Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you, thank you.